To the surprise of nobody, the choices that Sony has made over the past few years seems to just keep getting worse and worse. And that's all with the latest round of layoffs, so let's get into all that. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So I've been doing this YouTube thing for a hot minute now, and I've only really scratched the surface of this great industry that's gaming. But out of all the topics I've covered in the gaming world, this is the one that frustrates me the most. And normally I'd like to think I come at things with all this level head talk, but this one, it ain't happening. The topic we've talked about a lot over recent years is Sony's recent push into the pesky old live service world, or games as a service. Now, to give them credit up front, and this is the only credit I'm giving them, they killed it with titles like Helldivers 2 that have a proven IP that has staying power. But for every singular Helldivers 2 comes examples like Concord, Marathon, Fair Games, Foam Stars, The Last of Us Factions, the live service Spider-Verse game that was cancelled. Need I go on? Fact of the matter is, this has been an objective failure from the jump, and I'm quite honestly surprised as the next person that PlayStation hasn't drastically corrected course since the disaster that was Concord. I mean, this does primarily fall on the heads of Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz, who are now out of the leadership picture. But at the same time, the jury is still out on these new figureheads. It's safe to say that customers buy the PS5 platform with high expectations for high-quality titles. And since the days of the PlayStation 2, I really do think PlayStation has made countless all-time great games. But now we're sitting in a void that is PlayStation's releases, with the nearest launch being Ghost of Yotei. Now, why is that? Why hasn't PlayStation turned out any credible games lately? Well, that falls back onto this rather aggressive push into the live service game world, and this notion that the large scale of live service games they wanted to release did get cancelled. So now we're sitting here with absolutely nothing in between releases, and yeah, if those games didn't get cancelled, I'm sure we'd have a lot of PlayStation games currently on the market. But recently, there has been yet another chapter written in this horror story for PlayStation, and this involves the likes of Sony Bend. If you do remember, Sony denied Sony Bend a Days Gone sequel. Despite the first game selling fairly well despite its first initial launch period, and the title was beloved by PlayStation fans alike. But no, instead Sony said Sony Bend needs to make a live service game, and to no surprise, it recently just got cancelled. I want to add this point, I don't think Sony Bend is a bad studio, and this is a studio that does have a proven track record making single-player games. So no wonder why they struggled in making a live service one. But now there is a new report that Sony is laying off 30% of Sony Bend's staff, and that's all because of this cancellation. But it's just mind-blowing how much of a step back PlayStation has taken since the PS4 console generation. Again, they're coming off the heels of the great PS4 era that's seen banger after banger, especially as first-party titles go. But this was a choice that ultimately blew up badly in their faces, and this is causing irreparable damage to the image of PlayStation. And if they don't fix that right now, the scars will last for a lifetime. I also want to stress the point, this isn't a thing where they flip the switch and boom, they're back on course. Whatever they do now will show up in the next 2 to 3 years, and that's being generous. And I'm genuinely curious, if you are a PlayStation owner, how do you feel about the brand overall? But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. So like I just said, if you own a PlayStation, what do you think about the state of the company? I mean, I've been there. I've been an Xbox fan for years. I went through the Xbox One days. I lived through the Xbox 360 days. So I know the highs and I know the lows. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.